So they said I mentioned someone's name. I will continue to mention names. I'm glad I mentioned the names that I did, because a lot of those stories, they said, corrected the record. That's what they were saying, that they're coming up with a final edit. Like, they want to create these imaginary dreams with a computer of things that may have happened in elementary school, high school, college, when I worked at various places decades ago, to apply to me today of what I would think or say. So they said, boy, your vocabulary's changed, meaning it is not as good as it was. And they said they would have done this earlier with my better vocabulary. Why would they use people who don't have good vocabulary to create my vocabulary? If you guys wanted, like, the things they're saying out loud, they're like words. It's like, throwing out a word here, throwing out a word there. Why wouldn't you get people who had a better vocabulary to teach me to have a better vocabulary? Meaning, wouldn't that be a better way of doing this? If you use people who don't have a great vocabulary to say, I corrected them. Well, even I told you I don't, but even if I had to, it would make more sense, right? You don't have a good vocabulary. You said I had a better vocabulary. It would make sense for me to say that's grammatically wrong. Just like you said, left-handed picture is wrong when it's not. Then we would get into arguments if everything I say we would be arguing about it. What they should do is get someone who has a better vocabulary than I have and teach me better English. That would make more sense. So part of what they said, oh, you just told that you would correct someone who had a bad vocabulary. If that person is correcting me, yes. If you say the word isn't exit or even exit and say it's exit, yes. If you correct me and say I'm mispronouncing exit by calling it exit, no, it's not exit, it's exit. And part of that is they got upset that I can go back and forth with people because my English is not horrible. If you're going to correct someone who says exit by saying it's not exit, it's exit. No, it's not exit either. It's exit or exit, but not exit. So they want to argue back and forth. That's what I'm saying. You put people in a situation where, of course, you're going to argue. They think arguing makes me a bad person. Calling me a pedophile. So are you really going to defend pedophile over somebody who would argue? So everything I say, they go back and say, well, that wasn't right. This was because it's supposed to make me upset. So going back to what I was saying before they cut me off, is that if you're creating a program to say, I'm not nice, I'm a horrible person, and they said, but you keep recruiting me. But more than that, you keep coming around me to make me upset, then you are the cause of all of this. People who are that way, meaning up here naturally, the way to deal with those types of people is not to make them more up here. It's to either not have contact with them because they're not for you, or to find a better way of dealing with it. It's not for me to tell you how, but you don't take someone up here and bring them higher up. These are the types of people, either you leave alone or find a way of bringing them down to a calm level. The next point I want to talk about is they didn't want me on the internet because they said, well, the people who know me know this isn't like me. No, it's not. It wasn't like me to be followed around, have people talking to me, creating a system where they're trying to match things to what I said decades ago, what I didn't say decades ago. They said something else. I can't hear what they said. They lowered it. Because again, when you deal with people who, this is the bigger issue. They're probably used to dealing with people who can't interact with them in a video in real time like this. Who can't say, you're wrong. Here's you're wrong about that. The other big deal about that is that we're going to go back to the crime. If you know a child has been harmed in any way, report that person and report it. Let somebody who knows children, like a psychiatrist, a police officer, a social worker, know. You don't sit and decades later say, the kid never mentioned it at the time, never was mentioned. Over what? We're talking, they were saying in the 1980s, we're talking about 30 plus years. But now you're going to say this? Go to the police, tell them. Let's get this in court. Oh, they said no, we apologize. It's not an apology if you keep doing the same fucking thing. You're not apologizing. You're doing it to set me off. And I'm sick of you. I'm sick and tired of you. This has been, I told people back when they were in my life, get them out of my life. They're horrible. And then they bring in these fuckers who lie on people. I'm outing every last one of you. You're nothing but liars, thieves, cheaters who frame other people to take responsibility for your failures in life. And I'm naming you. Thank you for watching.